Fox News is taking the side of protesters who are asking to reopen the country. But Greg Gutfeld, this guy here, is making some pretty strange arguments to try to make that case.
It is kind of interesting where the class warriors are in this. The hard left, who always see class versus class, denigrate Republicans as country clubbers and everything. Where are they? The whole thing has flipped, right? They are now mocking the working class and marginalizing their concerns for a paycheck or for a job. Now we have outspoken liberals that are basically telling people, let's call them the working class, to stay home. And so they're mocking these mass protests, which I understand that a mass protest isn't a safe thing to do in this time. But it's something that as an American you appreciate because they're rebelling against government overreach. You are telling me that I can't buy my seeds in a time of pandemic is overreach. So while we understand that it's a bad decision to go out in groups, as Americans we get it. But meanwhile, the media embraces all sorts of class warfare. Black Panthers to Occupy Wall Street, to Antifa, to the Weather Underground. But somehow this is evil, when in fact it's actually uniquely, conspicuously American. The people don't like to be overtold by their government.
Okay, I want to know on what planet the media supported Occupy Wall Street, the Black Panthers, and Antifa. I saw the exact opposite. I saw nothing but scorn and disdain and looking down their nose at Occupy Wall Street. They thought it was like a bunch of dirty hippies who were just causing trouble and need to shut the hell up and get back to work. That's how it was viewed. But in the minds of the Fox News hosts, it's like, what are you talking about, man? The media, they fully embrace these, outsider, working class movements. I wish. Let me tell you something. If that was the case, I wouldn't have a job because that's my job is to support, the working class movements. And I view the world through that perspective, not the elitist perspective that the media uses. If the media had my perspective, I wouldn't exist. I wouldn't need to exist. So you wouldn't be able to have a show like I have. Now, what's amazing is he's talking about these protests. Yes, the protests are to reopen the country. And he's alluding to the fact that there are some left-wingers who are going after them. Well, yes, there are left-wingers who are going after them, but all the discourse that I've seen, and I know because we've had it on this show, it's actually very nuanced. So my point was, you don't go out there and chant "Fire Fauci" at these protests, because then it's clear, well, you're not the main thing is not really like, I want to reopen the country because I've evaluated the evidence and we're good to go. It's just it's partisan hackery. You think Fauci is like a deep state plant who's trying to hurt Trump by hurting the economy, so now you're out there screaming "Fire Fauci" and you're trying to reopen the economy, reopen the country, but when you speak to some of the people at the protests, yes, you got to keep it real. Some of them made terrible points. One of them was crying that they couldn't get fertilizer. Another one was talking about her hair. Oh, look, I haven't dyed my hair in a while. And it's like, okay, well, on that front, yes, people are going to joke around and make fun because the person holding up a sign about freedom in front of a Baskin Robbins, like, come on, that's silly to view it that way. However, the other part of the conversation that I've had on this show, and I've seen many other lefties point this out, I've seen Anna Kasparian, among many others, point it out, it's like, well, hold on now. No, we do actually feel for these protesters, particularly because the only reason that they're out there is because they can't pay the bills. And so now the movement is like, well, reopen the country. Okay, well, what about the virus? Forget the virus. Got to reopen the country because I got to pay my bills. I have no ability to. I have no savings. I have no money. What do you want me to do? I gotta go back out there. So they're protesting to reopen the country. In reality, the protests would make a hell of a lot more sense if they were out there saying, we need a UBI. We need more stimulus money. Because here's the reality. If the government had done their job effectively, these protests would at least be cut in half, maybe 75%. Maybe there wouldn't even be any protests if people were getting a recurring stimulus payment, a UBI payment, if you did a rent freeze, if you did a mortgage freeze. Because you know what? When you don't feel that economic pressure, you're a lot more likely to be like, yeah, I'll sit back another month and watch reruns of I Love Lucy. That's fine. No big deal. It makes it so that I don't get the virus. And I'm here at home and I'm healthy and I could just watch TV a little longer or something. But the reason why they're out there is because the government failed them. So what does Greg Gutfeld do? Instead of, doing his commentary and saying, I think this is a failure of the government to not support the American people. What does he do? He goes after the lefties who are saying to these people, listen, the science shows if you go out there, you're going to get the virus, so don't go out there. That's who he's going after. And he's trying to twist it as if the left-wingers who are saying that are somehow anti-working class. I think it's pretty pro-working class to not have them get the virus, to argue for them to stay safe. That's pretty pro-working class, if you ask me. So, this is Fox News 101. They're hacks. They're partisan hacks. And they'll twist everything to look like left-wing bad, right-wing good. And they wind up saying silly stuff like Greg Gutfeld is saying here. Listen, man, the reason why there shouldn't be the protests and we shouldn't reopen is because the virus is still ripping through the country. And the sooner we open, the more people get out there, the more people will die. You might not like that, but it's an ironclad fact. It is what it is. So now we have to deal with that fact. How do we deal with it? Well, like I said, all of your efforts, all of your commentary should be geared towards shaming the government and prodding the government to give these poor people a UBI check and to cancel rent and cancel mortgage payments so that they're okay and they feel like they don't have to go out there. So this caricature he has of this left-winger who's only making fun of these protesters. I've seen a lot of nuance on the left talking about how a lot of these people are feeling economic pressure. Some of them are saying silly things, and we'll make fun of that. But by and large, a lot of these people are out there, and it's not all AstroTurf. It's not like the Tea Party was originally. I think a lot of people are feeling some genuine hurt. So Greg Gutfeld and Fox News, they're just doing what Fox News does here, which is twist everything and say left-wing bad, right-wing good. And it is the dumbest level of commentary I've ever seen, and never fall for this silliness.